Extraordinarily important cause. My name is Eric Weltman, and I'm with Food and Water Watch, a non-profit consumer organization that supports a ban on fracking in New York and that opposes the Port Ambrose LNG facility. Yeah. Fracking hits home no matter where you live. We're here today in solidarity with the people of Long Beach in opposition to the proposed LNG facility, which we maintain would export frack gas overseas, and to urge Governor Cuomo to veto the proposal. We're also on the eve of the 2-year anniversary of Superstorm Sandy, and we're calling attention to fracking's contribution to climate change, the climate destruction that is caused by methane and carbon dioxide emissions, and to urge Governor Cuomo to reject fracking and to make New York the leader in transitioning to renewable energy. Let's be clear, fracking equals climate change. Fracking equals climate change. I didn't intend to chant, but let's run with it for a moment. Fracking equals climate change. Fracking equals climate change. Fracking equals climate change. Fracking equals climate change. We're also here today in solidarity with people around the world because this event is part of the global frackdown. The global frackdown, an international day of action against fracking. Today there are over 200 anti-fracking events being held from Australia to South Africa, from Argentina to India. Today, people across the world are calling on their governments to protect our water, air, food, and climate from the ravages of fracking. And today, there are events across New York, from Long Island to Buffalo, from Brooklyn to Binghamton, where we're calling on Governor Cuomo to ban fracking, to be a champion in preventing climate change, to lead a transition to renewable energy, and to resist fossil fuel infrastructure. Well said. Yes. In the final analysis, there are safer alternatives to natural gas, but there are no alternatives to water. There are safer alternatives to natural gas, but there are no alternatives to water. New York is at a crossroads. The choice is deepening our reliance on dirty old fossil fuels or leading a transition to clean, safe, renewable energy. We are here today to urge Governor Cuomo to make the right choice, ban fracking, and veto Port Ambrose. Yeah! We have a handful of speakers that I want to introduce, but before I just want to list the many organizations that helped make this rally today a success, notwithstanding the weather. Yeah. The Sierra Club! Yeah. Move On! Yeah. South Shore Audubon Society! Yeah. North Shore Audubon Society! Yeah. Nassau County Coalition of Civic Associations! Yeah. The New York Public Interest Research Group! Yeah. Surfriders! Yeah. Surfers out there! Yeah. Clean Ocean Action! Yeah. Beach Out America! Yeah. Pink! Yeah. I Ain't Green! Naval Sea Cliff Cooperative, Citizens Campaign for the Environment, the Nassau County Green Party, Grassroots Environmental Education, Slow Food North Shore, New Yorkers Against Fracking, and Food and Water Watch. We also want to thank our musician Chris Riley, who performed a lovely song before we began. All right. So, I'd like to introduce, I don't really need the megaphone, do I? No. I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Oh, okay. Claudia Barecki with the Nassau County Coalition of Civic Association. Yeah. Thank you, Claudia. Press this button if you have trouble.
Hello, testing. Okay. I'm Claudia Barecki with the Coalition of Nassau Civic Associations, which is an organization comprised of civic associations throughout Nassau County, representing hundreds of thousands of people. I'm also here as part of the anti-LNG coalition, which is also comprised of organizations from New Jersey, New Long Island, going all the way out to Montauk. And we all have come out against this LNG project. The papers are wet. On this very boardwalk, as part of the Gay Denenberg Long Island Task Force, in 2010, we were here because we were fighting a 60-acre island they were planning to build off these shores to liquefy natural gas. We defeated it because of all the opposition that we had from New Jersey, New York, and Long Island. We defeated that project. But as you know, they're back. So this time we're here. At that time when we were starting to fight LNG, we started hearing about this hydrofracturing. It was a brand new word. We knew nothing about it, but we heard it was bad. And when we realized that what they were planning on doing, hydrofracking makes it you're able to extract natural gas faster and less expensive. We realized that they were never planning on importing the gas. They were planning on exporting it. And it's all tied together. Anyone that says it's not, it is. And anyone that says it's just going to be for importing, it's not. They plan on exporting it from the beginning. I'd like to thank Eric Weltman for this global crackdown. I'd like to thank all the other groups that came. Out here we have the Nassau People's Climate March. I think because since the Climate March, I think our voices are being heard, louder now because it's a global thing. It's not just us, But as far as local goes, it's LNG will affect us. So we need to ask Governor Cuomo to veto this proposal. Right now, he's been very quiet. And so has the LNG Liberty has been very quiet too. They're waiting for after the election. They don't want this to be a campaign issue. And we're afraid that after the election, they'll come out with the environmental impact study. They'll do one hearing in New Jersey, one in New York, probably around Christmas time, so nobody shows. And this will get passed. So we have to make sure that Governor Cuomo knows that we're against it. And we had the comment, the boardwalk wasn't even completed yet when we had at the Allegro Hotel, and hundreds of people came. And we were against it then, and they had a comment period. 25,000 people commented against this LNG. You know how many were in favor of it? 16. Okay, so that message alone should send a message to Governor Cuomo. So let's keep us free from LNG. Chant it a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep us free from
LNG. Keep us free from LNG. Keep us free from LNG.
Keep us free from
LNG.
We're going to have a community meeting in Belmore on October 30th, where we'll have experts there to explain what's really happening. Because many of us are, we know about this, but our neighbors don't. So it's important that we spread the word to our PTAs, to our school boards, to whatever organizations you have, to come and learn about it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd next like to introduce our next speaker, Matt Kearns with the Sierra Club.
Hello. Good to see everybody here. Thank you, Eric, Food and Water Watch, for inviting the Sierra Club. And it's good to see everybody down here. It's really important that we show up. The fossil fuel industry is not going to rest or take days off. They're going to continue to drill and frack and take all our resources and our land rights from us. So it's important, no matter what the conditions, that we're out here. So give yourselves a hand. So my name is Matthew Kearns. I'm a lifelong Long Islander. I'm a member of the Sierra Club's Long Island group, and we're standing here in firm opposition to this LNG proposal. For a lot of Long Islanders, I think fracking is something maybe they think is happening upstate, or it's not happening near them, out of sight, out of mind. They don't really care, or maybe they don't realize that the fracking is an infrastructure, and it's coming, and it's invasive, and it's coming to our shores, and it is hitting home. We are on the front lines of fracking here on Long Island, and we know what it's like to be on the front lines. As Eric mentioned, 2 years ago we were on the front lines of climate change. It's very real, it's very scary, and we need to do everything we can to stop burning fossil fuels, and fossil fuels means fracked gas, and fracked gas is equals climate change. So it's very important that we continue the battle and stop all this fossil fuel infrastructure. And we need to do that here at Long Beach and veto LNG. Veto LNG.
Veto LNG! Veto LNG! Veto LNG! Veto LNG!
So for way too long, we've kind of believed this myth that there's no other options, that we have to, we need this gas, it's jobs, it drives the economy, we've got to power our homes with it. Well, that's not the case anymore. We have Long Island as a great resource, an offshore wind resource. And this proposal here is right in an area that would be great for offshore wind. And we need to invest in these clean, renewable jobs that can power our homes, our businesses, and our communities. We want wind.
We want wind! We want wind! We want wind! We want wind! We want wind!
So last month, many of you may have been there, many of you have heard about on the news about 400,000 people marched in the streets of New York City and asked our global leaders to act on climate. Did they? I don't know. Well, here's an opportunity. If our Governor Cuomo, claims to be a national leader, wants to be a global leader, here's an opportunity to make a choice. Do we choose offshore wind or do we choose LNG? What do we do? What do we want? What do we want?
We want wind! 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 Solar!
Wind and solar, absolutely. We want clean natural energy. It's clear everyone here and throughout the global crackdown has made their choice. And we choose clean, renewable energy over dirty water. We choose wind over gas, and we're going to choose elected officials that ban fracking now. Ban fracking now!
Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now!
Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! It's now my honor to introduce the Reverend Mark Lukens, who's chairman of the Interfaith Alliance of Long Island and pastor of Bethany Congregation Church of East Rockaway. Thank you very much for joining us, Reverend Lukens.
First, let me say thank you to all of you for coming out today. My name is Mark Lukens. I'm the chairman of the Interfaith Alliance of Long Island, which represents about a dozen of the world's religions in Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens. And I'm pastor of Bethany Congregational Church, which is just across the bay here in East Rockaway. And I'm here, as I suspect most of you are, because I understand that nothing less than the future of our island and our planet are at stake. That we, as people of good conscience, can no longer stand by, as too many have for far too long, while the extraction industries and the political interests that serve them are hard at work swallowing the future of our children, desecrating our earth, and poisoning our water in the service of their insatiable lust for new means to feed their greed and our collective addiction to fossil fuels. An addiction that we know all too well is resulting in rising water levels, as we've experienced all too many of them, and is already taking its toll in the wholesale destruction of the habitat not only of wildlife but of human life as well. I'm here today, as I know that you are as well, because the issue of hydraulic fracturing and the relentless assault on our planet, which it represents, is not, excuse me, holding these things is hard, is not simply an economic or even an environmental issue, although it is certainly both of those, but because it's also a moral issue, and it's also even a spiritual issue. And I'm here as a human being and as a father because I'm not going to stand by anymore while the very source of life for my children and for myself, our water and our earth, are systematically desecrated for the sake of corporate profit. I'm here because despite the assurances of the extraction industry shills and the politicians that they have bought and paid for, I know, and you know, that there is no such thing as a free lunch. We know that everything has a cost, and the cost of fracking is simply unacceptable. It's unacceptable for us, for our planet. It's unacceptable for the life of generations to come. And I'm here, my friends, because my faith teaches me that the earth does not belong to corporations like the gas company or BP, that it is not ours to simply desecrate or destroy, but rather we are the earth's stewards. We are responsible for the care and the preservation of this miraculous gift that we have been given. A gift that has been given to us by our Creator for all living things, for all generations. And it's high time that we took that responsibility seriously. And I'm here because this beautiful blue-green planet makes life itself possible for all of us. And that planet is crying out to us in her distress. She's crying out to us as her people to come forth and defend her in her need, to stand up and be counted for the sake of life itself. And so, on her behalf, and in the name of our Creator and all of her creatures now and to come, I have a message for the lords of industry, a message for our president, for our governor, for our representatives as well. A message that I, for one, and many, many thousands of people like me across the world, we will not go gentle into that good night. We will not surrender our planet to your greed. We will fight for the future of our children. We will stand together and we will say no. No gas barges, no hydraulic fracking, not here, not ever, no fracking way.
That was amazing. So before I introduce our next speaker, just a quick announcement. We have a sign-in sheet, and we want each and every one of you to sign in so we can invite you to the next rally. Because as impressive as this rally is, you know, this is not the beginning, but it's certainly not the end. So there's many more to come. So I want to urge each and every one of you, please make sure that you sign in so that we have your name, your phone number, your email, so we can invite you to the next rally. So please, please sign in. It's now my tremendous pleasure to introduce Nikita Scott, who's here with a bunch of her friends and her surfboard, because we're actually going to do a little surfing on a beautiful day like today. Got a surfboard, so I'm good.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikita Scott and I live in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Every weekend I travel out to the Rockaways or Long Beach to surf. One of my favourite things about New York City is the fact that you have such a vibrant city next to such a beautiful coastline. I'm here to talk on behalf of the Surfrider Foundation. We're an environmental non-profit that fights for issues that affect our coastlines. For years, people have been tirelessly working to clean up our coastlines. We are finally at the point where we can safely use our beaches and surf without being exposed to toxic chemicals and pollution. We should be celebrating this achievement, but instead we are faced with the prospect of Port Ambrose. We are so close to being declared a clean ocean zone. Yet Port Ambrose will dredge up 20 miles of the seabed, and with it all the pollution that's underneath it. It will completely destroy all the surrounding ecosystem and make it uninhabitable. New Jersey said no, and so can we. New Yorkers don't stand back and let these things happen. We push back. We have our voices heard. We're not going to let this happen. The Port Ambrose facility will last a lot longer than any of us. And is this really the legacy that we want to leave? No. The Surfrider Foundation New York City chapter has vowed to defend the future of New York's oceans and beaches. And we hope we urge him to veto Port Ambrose so that we can continue to surf our waves for generations to come. Thank you.
And off they go on their surfboards into the wild blue yonder. All right, I now like to introduce Jim Brown with the South Shore Audubon Society.
I want to thank Eric and Food and Water Watch and all the other organizations that have come out on this horrible day. We have quite a few people here. Which is good. I got the button. Oh, we have quite a few people here on this very dark and rainy day, and I want to thank you all for coming here. South Shore Audubon Society is a chapter of the National Audubon Society, and we represent approximately 1,700 families on the South Shore of Long Island. Our members stretch from the border of Queens all the way out to the border of Suffolk. And we have long been opposed to LNG. Many years ago, there were certain facilities that were suggested to put off the shore here. There have been at least 3. One of them was even a huge concrete island that we called Insanity Island. We fought that with Clean Ocean Action, and we've been fighting these facilities ever since. We've been working with Food and Water Watch and other organizations to ban fracking completely. Now, these two concepts of LNG and fracking have come together because they're basically part of the same problem. Part of the gas infrastructure that these large companies are building around the country and indeed around the world. If you get more fracking, you get more LNG facilities, and LNG facilities, these huge ports that are built, create more fracking. Fracking creates global warming and climate change. Now, the Audubon Society, we are concerned with people, of course, but also with wildlife. A new study has come out by National Audubon that shows that half of the bird species in the United States are at risk from global warming. 314 species have been identified as being on the brink. So for human health and also to preserve the environment and birds, we must stop fracking and LNG. That's why we're involved. That's why we've been involved for many years and why we will continue to be so in the future. Short-term profit no longer works. Business as usual no longer works. We need renewable energy, and we have to defeat these ports that they want to build right out off of this shore, and we have to ban fracking upstate. We're still under the threat even of having frack waste brought to Long Island. Not a done deal. Hopefully it'll never happen, but these are terrible industries, and they have to go.
Yeah.
We need renewables,
Yeah.
and the Audubon Society will always fight them. We urge Governor Cuomo, he can do it very easily. He can do it now. He can veto Port Ambrose, and he can ban fracking. And when should he ban it? Now! Ban fracking now!
Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now!
Ban fracking now!
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Before I introduce our next speaker, I want to note one of our tactics has been calling Governor Cuomo on a regular basis. Actually, every Monday, we, along with our allies, have something we call Cuomo Mondays. and call Cuomo Mondays. And I'm going to pass around some half-page flyers that have a toll-free number for Governor Cuomo. And if you make that call, we're actually able to track the number of calls that are being made. So I'm going to hand around a stack of the flyers. Please take as many as you want. We have many more back in our office in Brooklyn. That's one very helpful way that you can spread the word. I'd now like to hand the megaphone over to one of our top allies, a representative from NYPIRG. That's the New York Public Research Group, NYPIRG, Brenton Ruiz.
Good afternoon, how is everybody doing? I'm here along with all of you as a part of NYPIRG. I'm representing college students, New Yorkers, and most importantly, Long Islanders, and rallying together to ban fracking. Governor Cuomo's indecision on fracking has really hurt us. He keeps trying to do things, and we need to know what he's going to do. It's most important that we get fracking banned now. NYPIRG, college students, and a whole bunch of you guys were a part of the 400,000 that marched in September to stop climate change. Climate change is real, it's happening, and people need to understand that it's important. Port Ambrose, it's a bad idea right now. The proposition of Ambrose so that we can have drilling is never going to be good. We need Cuomo, we need everybody to ban fracking now in New York State. Today, it's a real momentous day. It's a lovely day outside. We're all standing in the rain. We're standing together, and that's the most important thing. Right now, together, we can do this, and I hope we can do this for the future. So, one last time, ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now!
Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now!
Thank you! NYPIRG has been one of our strongest allies in New Yorkers against fracking, with activists on campuses across the state. We're really grateful to have NYPIRG represented here today. We are unstoppable! A statewide ban is possible! 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 So I just want to note that the Surf Rider folks have taken their surfboards and I think are on their way out to the surf. At some point in a few minutes, we're going to be seeing them standing out there with a lovely waterproof sign against LNG in Port Ambrose. So that's a very interesting visual. For folks who have cameras, that's going to be a wonderful, wonderful picture. Oh, there they are, over there.
Here, I'll hold this up for a minute. You can go look.
There's a remarkable, remarkable thing.
They're on their way out.
So, folks, I'd now like to introduce another very close colleague, and that is Lisa Oldendorf, who's with Move On. Lisa, I'm surprised she managed to get up this morning. She's been handing out flyers all week at train stations. We really appreciate her support and Move On's incredible dedication to this cause. Yay, Lisa.
Thank you, Eric. Actually, I have a team of people, and I want to thank them for getting up early in the morning with me. As those who know me know that I am not a morning person, so it really is a sacrifice to get up. I'm proud to be a regional organizer of Move On, a national organization of over 8 million people. Last spring I went to Dimmock, Pennsylvania with Food and Water Watch and the Sierra Club to see firsthand some areas where fracking was taking place. I wanted to hear from the people how fracking affected their lives. What I heard and what I saw was disturbing, to say the least. Stories of mysterious skin rashes, nerve damage, headaches, nausea, and cancer were prevalent. Doctors and nurses at the local hospitals were sworn to secrecy about the symptoms and strange illnesses that came through the emergency room. The water that was undrinkable and for some unusable was now the norm in Dimmock. I smelled the foul well water that was contaminated by the fracking process and unusable even for bathing. I saw dozens of huge trucks waiting to haul water to the site and roads that needed repair from all the heavy truck traffic. Every house near a well had a large radon detector on the property. I heard stories of property values plunging. People could not sell or even give away their homes. Some just walked away from them. So why should we care about fracking if it will not happen on Long Island? Well, every time a well is fracked, it uses a minimum of 300 million gallons of clean water for the process. And over 80% of that water cannot be reclaimed because over 600 chemicals and pesticides are added to this water. Water is a precious commodity and necessary for life. Fracking will create a huge demand for clean water. The liquefied natural gas port off the coast of Long Island will increase the amount of fracking in Pennsylvania and put pressure on Governor Cuomo to approve fracking for New York. We can live without oil and gas, but we cannot live without clean water. Long Island is especially well suited for the production of renewable energy, such as solar and wind. Why are we poisoning our air, land, and water with dirty fossil fuel processes when we have cleaner processes available to us right now? Cuomo has been sitting on the fence about banning fracking in New York. Instead of approving fracking, Governor Cuomo should make sure that New York leads the way in renewable energy, which will create thousands of permanent jobs. The Long Island members of MoveOn.org are deeply concerned about fracking's long-term and short-term effects on our children, our health, our air, and our water supply. Unless the entire fracking process can be proven safe in all of these areas, Governor Cuomo must ban fracking in New York State. In addition, he should veto the Port Ambrose liquefied natural gas project. It will endanger the residents of Long Island and make metropolitan New York City area even more of a terrorist attraction than it already is. We need Governor Cuomo to ban fracking now. 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 Cuomo. 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 Thank you, and we also want you to ban this LNG port right now too.
Ban the LNG port now.
So, before I introduce our next speaker, I wanted to note that another tactic, in addition to the Call Cuomo Mondays, is a petition drive. Food and Water Watch, along with our allies in New Yorkers Against Fracking and many other organizations, are in the midst of a petition drive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the liberty of handing around some blank petitions. Hopefully they manage to stay dry. I want to encourage each and every one of you, take some petitions. Circulate them among your friends, your family, your neighbors, your colleagues, complete strangers you meet at the supermarket, whoever. This petition drive is a very important technique or tool for showing the power of our movement. So it's now my honor to introduce one of our members, Food and Water Watch members, Victor Perez.
How's everybody doing out there? All right, my name is Victor Perez, like Eric said, and I'm a member of Food and Water Watch, long-time Long Island residents. Our meetings are every second Wednesday of the month. You guys are please welcome to come, and we could, what we do there, we organize, we strategize, we decide what we're going to do as far as rallying. We were one of the ones that organized the Ditmar, Pennsylvania trip about 1.5 years ago. So it was definitely a team effort. And what happened in Ditmar was obviously you saw the contamination of the drinking water. And because of that, people, like one of the Move On speakers said, they have truckloads there, dropping off the water because a lot of rashes was going on these people, that all the chemicals that are being produced, and the EPA kept it quiet because they didn't want to disclose all the unknown chemicals. And it's also happening here in New York State, where Cuomo and his administration is also keeping it quiet. They delayed and edited one of the fracking studies. Thank you. And so he's a big part of why fracking hasn't been banned yet. It could be easily banned, like Jim Brown had said, and I think we got to keep pushing and be persistent. The unknown chemicals that are being disclosed are, as you know, is impacting our health, our children's health, and this month is breast cancer month, right? Yes. So Susan and Coleman, I think she's the one of the biggest breast organization companies out there, and she has teamed up with one of the fracking companies, and this fracking company is called Baker Hughes, and Baker Hughes has decided to partner with Susan and Coleman to paint and distribute 1,000 drill bits. And you know what color they're going to paint their drill bits to continue the fracking this month? Pink. So that's shame on them, right? So we need to continue to, like I said, continue to be persistent. When we went to Ditmar, Pennsylvania, again, there was a lot of deforestation going on. So their solution probably is to create GMO trees, right? That's what they're going to do, right? And they're also probably going to have us purchase air, because that's what they're doing right now in the process, all right? There's a company out there that are selling air in some glass. So you go in there and they open up the glass and you start smelling the air. Well, that's what they're probably going to have us do, because we're already purchasing our water, right? So it's not too long where we're going to start purchasing air. So, having said that, we need to create more movements like the one in Ferguson, right, where we had Eric Holder come in and deal with what was going on in Ferguson, and also with the biggest climate change. What was the result of that? Well, we created that movement at Rockefeller. What he did was divest in fossil fuel. What Food and Water Watch did a couple of years ago is we created a movement, and we went into Jack Martin's office, and what did? We had Jack Martin talk our jargon, all right? Now this year he's up for election, and Jack Martin is thinking about, saying that he wants to ban fracking. Well, these are the movements that we're creating. We've got to continue to create these movements and be persistent, because I'm already tired of coming to these rallies. I don't want to come to no more rallies, to be honest with you. I want to spend time with my family. I want to do my own, right? And I'm sure you guys too, right? So we got to continue, bring awareness, like Claudia said, the PTA, share the information, right? We got to share information. Bring everybody here. Bring your neighbors, your friends. We got to expose them to what's going on, because these rallies are not going to continue. These phone calls, these petitionings. I only have so many hours during the day. I can't keep doing this. So please, like I said, our meetings are every Wednesdays. Every second Wednesday of the month, and they're at the Unitarian. Well, Eric is going to pass on some flyers that they're at the Unitarian Universal Congressional Shelter Rock in Manhasset. It's right here, so thank you so much.
Thanks. Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Cuomo!
Ban fracking now!
Cuomo!
Ban fracking now!
Cuomo!
Ban fracking now!
Cuomo!
Ban fracking now!
Cuomo!
Ban fracking now!
Ban fracking now! Ban fracking! Let him hear us! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! There he is! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Well, as Victor said, we do have a regular meeting. I do have flyers with the announcement about the meeting, as well as a holiday party that we're holding in December, so we urge you to join us. The other thing, I want to do a little save the date announcement, which is really our next huge rally is going to be up in Albany on January 7th. And whoever the next governor is, we're going to be there. Last couple of State of the States, we've had like 2,000 people. We're hoping to match that, if not exceed that. So if you can take the day off, it's going to be Wednesday, January 7th. I've got some flyers with information about the meeting, the holiday party, and to save the date. So I'd now like to introduce, we have a businessman here. You know, one of the things that's worth noting is that we have, you know, the faith community, we have obviously environmentalists, civic organizations, but there's a lot of businesses that would feel threatened, that would be threatened, that would be undermined, that would be irreparably harmed by fracking. And Brian Zimmerman represents just one of those industries that happens to make a substance that many of us are very, very fond of. And with that, I'm going to introduce him.
Brian Zimmerman, I'm starting a new business. It's Z's Barrel House, Malting and Farm Brewery out in Riverhead, Long Island. What we do is malt the grains from the local sources. We bring it to the brewer and he makes his beer out of it, basically. So that's what we're doing out there. I come from a long line of conservationists. I've been working a lot in conservation. Oh, better? Woo, yeah. I'll let the surf riders hear me too then. What I'm doing is I've worked in conservation from the state to the federal level. I've seen what fracking can do. I've seen what's going on with wastewater. Soil, water, they're all very important to the industry of New York. Farmers, New York is a farm country, a farm state. We're number one in apples. We're number four in milk. We're number one in cabbage production. So we're a huge agricultural state. There's billions of dollars in agriculture in New York State, and fracking will ruin that for us all. Yes. It'll ruin the sight lines. It'll ruin everything that we stand for. From a beer perspective, yeah, I got to talk about beer too. From a beer perspective, it takes 120 gallons of water to produce 30 gallons of beer. There's 119 breweries in New York State. There's 30 distilleries. There's wineries all over the place. Without water, we're not going to have that. So fracking will ruin all of that. I've seen from the southern tier of New York. I've seen what they do in Pennsylvania. I've seen the blue fields turning brown, the trucks running 24/7 back and forth to be processed. I've seen the water, the flow of water into the lakes that used to be prime fishing. Now there's nothing. It's a horrible, horrible thing. So basically, no food, no water. We get no food. We get no beer. So we should really say no to fracking.
Say no to fracking! Say no to fracking! Say no to fracking!
So folks, we just have two more speakers, but I want to draw your attention to our friends out there. Let's give them a wave. Look, we've got the surfers out there. They've got their banner up and down, but they're braving the waves, braving the cold. take a stand against LNG. So we want, how about can we do a thank you, Surf Rider? Yeah. Surf Rider. Thank you, Surf Rider. Thank you, Surf Rider. Thank you, Surf Rider. Thank you, Surf Rider. Go, surfers, go! Go, surfers, go! Go, surfers, go! Fracking is the way to go! This is how we make money off of everybody! We're gonna frack your backyard! We just discovered Marcellus Shale! Under the island! This is the way to do it! All right. Two last speakers is Seth Hershier. Is Seth Hershier. Well, I guess Seth is Seth Hershier. Representing the Green Party of Nassau County.
Well, I can't say that there's much to add to what Eric said, but I believe that the trains, the rail lines that are coming back along the Hudson River, bringing Williston back and from the North Dakota and Montana region, which is being supported by the Koch brothers. We should be in vehement opposition to that, along with our opposition to fracking. That's really what I had to add today. There's nothing more that could be said. Eric has said it all. He made a terrific presentation. I thank you. And I thank all of you for being here today. It's coming out in the weather.
Thank you. And finally, I'd like to introduce someone who's been a staunch ally in the county legislature, Dave Denenberg. Let's hear it for Eric. What a great job Food and Water Watch did. You know, as your final speaker, it has all been said. It's very, very simple. There's a proposal for an LNG at Port Ambrose. Just veto it. Just veto it. Keep us free from LNG. Keep us free from LNG. I can't hear you. Keep us free from LNG. Keep us free from LNG. Keep us free from LNG. You know what? I'm joined here. A number of my colleagues as county legislators have said that we should keep fracking waste out of our sewage treatment plants. The plants are right here and right there, all across our South Shore. We know we've had problems with them. Can you imagine fracking waste in our sewage treatment plants? Could you imagine that? Let's hear a big no. Can you imagine that? No! So, we have a proposal to ban fracking waste at the sewage treatment plants, but the best idea, it says it right there at Food and Water Watch, ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! Ban fracking now! They can't hear you in Albany! Ban fracking now! 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 So it's a simple message. We don't want the LNG plant. We want to ban fracking. We're pro-business here on Long Island. Long Island can lead the way in jobs in renewable energy. We are the leader right here in Long Island and in Massachusetts. More solar power, more renewable energy being sold than any place else in the country. Why can't we produce it right here? Why can't the solar panels be manufactured here, the wind farms be here? So we have an answer. And the answer really is no fracking way, right? So let's close with that one. Come on, Eric. No fracking way! No fracking way! No fracking way! No fracking way! Spread the message, come on, no fracking way! Well, I am reminded of something that one politician said, which is, everything's been said, but not everyone has said it. But anyway, thank you. So folks, I think we're gonna wrap. It's been a wonderful but wet rally. Just a quick reminder, please, pass around the petitions, call Cuomo on Monday, join us at our monthly meeting in Shelter Rock, join us for the holiday party, and save the date for am I missing something? No. Oh, and we've got Chris Riley is going to perform a few more songs as we head on the way. And also, we have a volunteer who's been handing out flyers about the LNG meeting, which is happening October 30th? October 30th in Belmore. That is a very important public meeting. It's open to anyone and everyone. So please join us for that important conversation about stopping the LNG facility. All right, let's one last ban fracking now! 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 Ban fracking now!
Good job, Lisa. Very nice.
Okay, my name is Warren Woods. I'm from Occupy Long Island and from Food and Water Watch, and I'm a performance artist. And fracking is very important. We must frack your backyard because we don't give a damn about your children. We don't care about the groundwater because it's all money in my pocket for my company. And money is what's most important. Gas is going to be sold to other countries, and it's going to come out of your backyard. And so what if you die of cancer? You think I care? I don't care. I won't be around by the time it starts happening to you, but boy, am I going to have money to fix up my yacht and my 3 condos. So fracking is the way to go. It's the most important way because it'll get oil and gas out of places where we shouldn't be able to get, where we can't get it. So ban the ban fracking movement. It's so important. Make sure that you vote for somebody who is pro-gas extraction.
Okay, coming in good? Okay, lovely day we're having here, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Okay, so I'm Brian and I'm here with?
Hillary Hunt.
Okay, and you are with?
I am here with New Yorkers Against Fracking.
Okay, and why are we here today?
So we're at the Global Frack Down in Long Beach. We're here because we're so excited about this movement that we're building to actually ban fracking in New York State. And we're, New Yorkers Against Fracking is one of the organizations here. And we're here for a rally to ban fracking.
Wonderful. And we're out here right on Long Beach by the ocean. And why is this pertinent to what we're doing here today?
Well, actually, part of our protest today is protesting the liquefied natural gas terminal off of the shore here, and that would be really devastating if we had another climate event like Sandy. And so we're trying to rally against that, against the proposed facility, as well as the actual ban on fracking.
Wonderful. Well, we had a pretty nice turnout here today, considering the rain, a couple of hundred people. I know you've been doing a lot of work to get the word out. I heard you on some of the radio shows and now the public access TV. Where do we go from here?
Well, the election is our next big hurdle. So, in early November, we're going to be voting again. And, it's up to us to keep the pressure on Governor Cuomo. So I'd urge folks leading up to the election to actually tweet or Facebook post or call into the governor's office to help us get this message out there. You can send a letter, snail mail, or social media, whatever is your thing. But it's really effective for him to hear voices of New Yorkers, and especially Long Islanders, because we haven't had as much noise out here. So it's really important for us to get that message out there.
Now, when I watch TV, I'll watch different political shows, and it seems that on the political programs, there are many commercials for the natural gas companies. And so this movement has an alternative. So when they promote the natural gas and talk about creating jobs and abundant energy, what is your alternative proposal?
Wow. Well, the thing is, fracking doesn't actually create that many jobs. There's a lot of research actually that leads to a lot of people that come in that get bussed in or trucked in from out west, from places where they've been fracking for a long time. So it's not many local jobs. It actually leads to a lot of problems like increased crime, increased rent, and other, lots of new traffic accidents with their really big trucks carrying toxic chemicals in the area. So, we've experienced that. And the other thing is that, in the areas where this happens, people don't have clean water anymore. So it really comes down to health versus jobs. The few jobs that are created. And not only that, but solar and wind create many jobs that are sustained over time that need to keep those facilities.
I see your hair blowing quite abundantly. It seems that there is energy around us.
Yeah, I feel it. Don't you feel it? The wind energy, it's amazing. It never stops here.
Yes, it is. Yes. Well, it's been a pleasure being with you and everyone here today, and thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michelle Perez, and I'm from Huntington, New York. And I'm here because I think it's important that we take a precautionary approach to things, and we don't just jump in without looking at the potential cost down the line. The damage that could be done from fracking will be irreversible, and it's better that we're cautious about it.
Hi, so my name is Jess Lamarca. I'm from Oakdale and I go to Farmingdale State College. I just started an environmental club there called Earth Matters, and I'm here at the Global Frackdown in Long Beach, Long Island, because we're against fracking. Fracking is no good, not good for our water, not good for our people. It's really not an efficient source of energy, so we have to address Cuomo on this serious issue. No fracking. Ban fracking today.
I'm Caroline Burney. I am from the Chicago area originally. I've lived in St. Louis, Missouri the past 5 years. Look at you. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, so I've lived in St. Louis, Missouri the past 5 years, working on campaigns to challenge Peabody Energy, the world's largest coal company, divest the city of St. Louis from coal. So I'm out here this fall. Because I'm working with New Yorkers Against Fracking, and I see this huge precedent for New York to ban fracking and really be a leader in moving our country beyond dirty energy to renewable energy like wind and solar. So I'm out here today, send a strong message to Governor Cuomo to ban fracking.
Hi, my name is Jared Garfinkel. I'm from Plainview. I was born and raised on Long Island, and I'm intern with New Yorkers Against Fracking. So I did phone banking for the event, and I'm here to support a ban on fracking. There are lots of interconnected issues in climate change, but I have a responsibility to speak out and make the issue of fracking a political stink, because that way our politicians will react and to political will of the people and ban fracking, which pollutes rivers and streams.
Okay, hi, I'm Bob, originally from Pennsylvania, where my uncle and cousin have talked about the lighting of the faucets, you know, the ceremony of the lights, setting the faucets on fire. I'm here against fracking, and there's a lot of other critical issues. Climate change is one of the big issues. Fracking is the issue of today. And I think education in this matter is going to be very important because our people don't realize how poisonous it is. They don't realize the poisons, the toxins that they pump in to get this gas out, and they don't realize what it's doing to the water systems, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest at off-the-cuff speaking, but I'm here because fracking stinks, it's poisonous, it's dangerous. Be good.
Okay, hi, I'm Jim Brown. I'm Conservation Chair of the South Shore Audubon Society. We're a chapter of the National Audubon Society representing 1,700 families on the South Shore of Long Island. And I'm here today at the Global Frackdown, which is a rally worldwide. This one's in Long Beach, right along the boardwalk. And we're urging Governor Cuomo to ban fracking and to veto the liquefied natural gas port that is scheduled to be built just off of our shores about 19 miles. So we're here to rally today in support of humanity, wildlife, and active in the fight to stop global warming and climate change. LNG and fracking are dangerous to humans and to wildlife, and that's why we're here today. It's raining, but there are Audubon Society members here today, and we hope to send Governor Cuomo a very, very strong message that he should ban fracking now and veto the Port Ambrose LNG facility. Thanks a lot.